Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fighters Anthology. Now, I think we pretty much ran through the only extra US unit that was in the Egyptian campaign versus the US campaign that we didn't already fly. And I think I'm going to wait a bit longer on like the F-22 and stuff until we hit the Russian campaign. So, with that being said, we're going to do the Egyptian aircraft because that's really all that's left, and we're going to actually change things up and start with their French inventory. So let's set up a mission here. Yeah, we can be Arab Egyptian, why not? Or sorry, Islamic Egyptian, just for shits and giggles. So the first aircraft we're going to demo here is, let's actually see what's in the inventory. We have, oh, they do have Mirage 3s. Okay. So I guess I'll do something on the Mirage 3 later, but for today I have the Mirage 5 and the Mirage 2000. Well, for this video I have the Mirage 5, and I'm also recording the next video, which is the Mirage 2000. So let's not get that too cooked up, or too messed up, like I am now, apparently. What's our ground targets? Small fleet, airstrip, command HQ. Ooh, let's do a canal defense. That sounds fun. And then let's give them some desert phantoms. We'll start 10,000 feet, 20 miles, custom weapons load, and go. So AS-15. So these are air-to-surface missiles. It looks like we have a jamming pod. We have twin Defa cannons, some drop tanks. Not a ton of internal fuel. Like when you consider other aircraft of its era, like the Phantom, our fuel load's pretty light thing. I think we might only have one engine too, so that could be a part of it. AS-15, is that really? Let me check my notes here, because that might be. No, I guess that is French because I see an AS-30L, so that must be a older guided weapon. What's the specs on that? 1,000 pounds, laser designated. Alright, so let's hope it gives us the laser designator by default. Then let's get in. So the Mirage 5 actually started as an Israeli request for a modified version of the Mirage 3. This was back in the 60s, and I believe this was right after the Six-Day War, probably. I didn't look up the relative dates, but the IAF, you know, they were big users of French equipment at the time. France was like their largest supporter, and they were like, hey, we like the Mirage 3, but we use it for attack missions sometimes. But there's a lot of avionics in it. But the Middle East is all, you know, it's clear skies and bright and sunny. You know, we don't need all the avionics. So what if you take out the avionics and put, not working IRC, and put in, you know, more fuel. So Dassault started working on it, and eventually they made some other modifications too. But they okay, so these must be all aspect if our wingmen are. Let's get this guy. But oh, he got hit. Okay. Well, I like the detail on that texture. I mean, relative to the era, obviously. It didn't track. Alright. But, oh, fuck. We are not the most okay, I didn't see that. But yeah. So France started working with Israel on the project. France took their own interest in the project. They ended up making some modifications. I know it ended up being a bit longer than the Mirage 3, but the biggest change probably is that it included more pylons now, 7 pylons with a payload of up to 4,000 kilograms. But in 1969, France officially canceled cooperation with Israel over their aggression in the Six-Day War. Ostensibly, all cooperation ceased, but there was a significant chunk of like the French political and military establishments that were still very strong supporters of Israel. And actually, it's kind of amusing. So the French or the Israeli pilots were training with a bunch of initial production Mirage 5s, and they were like, oh hey, we want to move south to train in the winter once this was announced. And France had suspended delivery but not officially canceled it yet. Oh, by the way, in order to conduct our standard training, we would love if you gave us a bunch of giant drop tanks, for training purposes. So France is like, no, that's not happening. And they supposedly canceled the deal and refunded Israel. But France ended up, or Israel still somehow ended up with a very identical looking plane, the Israeli Air Industries Nasher, which they insist is their own derivative developed from technical documentation they obtained from the project, but others believe that it is... Alright, we'll just attack the Egyptian tanks then. But others believe that the original kits, or that what happened was that Israel took delivery of the original 50 aircraft or so, and then they gave kits for 50 additional aircraft that they shipped, in crates or whatnot to Egypt, or to Israel. And then Israel built those themselves. But regardless of what actually happened, this ended up becoming a very, very popular plane for the export market, like a lot of French aircraft do. I think it's because, you buy, if you want to buy from the West, but you don't want the cost of like American or British systems, or the export restrictions that go with those, you buy from France. And so it ended up being exported to Ecuador, Gabon, Pakistan, Abu Dhabi, Argentina, Belgium, which I think Belgium was originally a big military equipment user of France, but the U.S. has kind of steadily been edging them out. Like, because I know right now they operate RF-16s rather than Dassault Rafales. Chile, Colombia, Egypt, France, Israel as the Nasher, Libya, Peru, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Venezuela, and Zaire, which I think is now Congo. There are also a couple variants produced. There's a recon variant, the Mirage 5R, and a 2-seat variant, the Mirage 5D. Oh god, tanks. And there was also another variant, modernization that was made, the Mirage 5 Rose, which is basically a 1990s updated Mirage 5 with all the bells and whistles. So, full toss, flight stick arrangement. I think some had fly-by-wire, updated avionics, the whole spiel. And as Mirage 5 is somewhat optimized more for the air-to-ground mission. I mean, as you can see, we can still kind of participate in air combat, but, especially when we're fully loaded down, we aren't very maneuverable. But it can carry, your standard assortment of bombs, rockets, recon pods. We obviously were carrying a jamming pod, and I guess I don't know how accurate it is that we'd be carrying laser guided missiles like that, although I certainly don't see that as outside the realm of possibility. And yeah, that's pretty much Mirage 5. It's been slowly working its way out of service. France especially hasn't used it for a while, but a lot of second world countries still use it, because especially Argentina, you know, because they can't afford anything newer. I think they use it as the dagger and the finger, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's, you know, a nice, versatile, cheap ground attack aircraft that can fulfill a secondary air-to-air role. And you can see now we're unloaded. We're still a bit less maneuverable than like the Phantom, but you know, a skilled pilot can hold their own. Yeah, so that's really all there is to say about that. So with that, we'll end the mission there. Okay, we successfully completed the mission. We attacked the ground structures. We blew up some extra tanks because we were bored. And so yeah, that is a quick showcase of the Mirage 5. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time when we go over the Mirage 2000, and we'll see you then.